1,000 Sleepless Nights, how I ended up at Fellowship Church the first time. The first time I came to Fellowship Church, I remember sitting in the back seat of a car of this person who brought me to Fellowship Church. And I was sitting there and just looking at all these different people, and they looked so different. There was such a diverse crowd, diverse mix of people. And the thing that was going through my mind is, wow, this is a really big place, but it's also a strange place that I've never been to before, a church I've never been like that before. So I went in, we all went in, and sure enough, it was a big church. And I sat there and I just kind of looked around at it and everything, and just kind of noticed it all and just kind of took it in. And once we sat down, these guys came out on stage and they started playing all these guitars and playing all this loud music, and it almost felt like I was at a Jimi Hendrix concert or something. But I liked the music. It was something that I liked, the guitars and the singing and that whole musical genre, because it was different than the old traditional stuff that I had been to, the churches that I'd been to. And so the song sounded good. Then all of a sudden this skinny guy came out on stage. And again, I'd never heard of Fellowship Church. I'd never heard of Ed Young. And I don't ever remember hearing of Grapevine, Texas before that morning. And so this guy came out on stage, and I just assumed he was the pastor. But it turned out to be Derek Bernot. And I really wasn't paying attention. I was just still kind of looking around at all this place and all these people. And I never really paid attention until he started talking about surfing. And since that's what I was doing, that's what I was on my way to do, he kind of got my attention. And so after that, I started listening to what he was saying. And I thought, this is okay, this is some powerful stuff. And I walked out of that place, and something had moved in me. There was something about the spirit of this place that had actually moved in me. And since I wasn't on the timetable, I thought, well, maybe I should come back to this. So that afternoon, I went and I looked the church up on the internet just to see what these guys believed. They could have been handling snakes, they could have been doing anything, but I wanted to find out just what their statement of faith was. And so as it turned out, since there was no name on the building, by the way, it only said Fellowship Church. It didn't say Baptist or Methodist or Mormon. It didn't say anything. All it said was Fellowship Church. So as I read their statement of faith, it turned out to be more along what I believed in. It was more along the Baptist lines of belief. And so that was okay, because again, it was stuff that I believed in, stuff that I was used to. But anyway, it was something about it that moved me to stay another week just to find out what's going on in this church. So I stayed, and I came back, and man, it was just something moving in me. Something about that church, something about the people. And so I decided to stay another week. And then another week, so I ended up staying here for about 45 days before I left. And I never did make it to California to go surfing. I ended up going back to Arkansas and staying there for about 45 days before the Lord, I felt like the Lord led me back to Texas and back to Fellowship Church.